Struggling with shear force diagrams? Don't worry, I have got you covered. In this video, I will break down shear force diagrams step by step, explain you sign conventions for moments like clockwise and anti-clockwise moments, and show you how to identify the correct shear force diagram with real-world examples. Stay tuned till the end to learn this essential skill like an experienced structural engineer. By the way, if you're new here, I am Dr. Jawed Qureshi, a senior lecturer in structural engineering and design at University of East London. And in here, we talk about structural engineering. This is part of my video series on iStructE certificate in structural behavior, or simply if you want to improve your basics of structural engineering, if you're a student or an engineer, this video is for you. In this example, we have to identify the correct shear force diagram. Ignore self-weight and anti-clockwise shear forces are drawn as positive. This means that the forces acting in this direction, they are positive. And positive shear forces are drawn at the top side of the beam and negatives are drawn at underside of the beam. In case of frame, what does it mean? How do we draw shear force diagram? This means that we will have negative forces inside the frame, and outside the frame we will have all the positive forces. Let us see what options do we have. There are 4 options to choose from as usual, and first option is not possible because we have inclined load applied over here. That inclined load will cause horizontal and vertical component, and horizontal and vertical component will create some shear force over here. So we will have some shear force, so this is not possible. And secondly, B is not possible as well because somewhere down the line over here we should have shear force. And between option C and D, it's very difficult to say which one is correct. Here we will draw the deflected shape, and that will tell us where the reactions are going. And once we have determined the direction of reactions, then it is really very simple to work out shear force diagram. Remember that it's all about forces acting at 90 degree to the surface, to the axis of the beam or column. They will create shear forces. So let us see in detail what we can do to solve this problem. Let me draw the deflected shape first. I have roller on one side and I have a fixed support on other side, and I am resolving this inclined force into components. What will happen here is when we push the frame like this, it will deflect like this. This means the top portion, the beam is bending as well, this column is bending as well, and that will actually determine the direction of reactions. So here we have a vertical component of the force is applied. It means that the direction of reaction at left side will be upwards. Now this horizontal load is trying to move this frame up. When it's being tried to move up, then there should be a reaction to prevent that overturning moment. So that's why reaction here has to be downwards. If the reaction is not downwards, then this cannot remain stable. And horizontal load is applied over here. In here, the horizontal load will be leftwards. Now at least we have direction of forces. Now let us isolate these forces and let us consider our sign convention, which is anti-clockwise forces are positive, and we draw the outside of the frame as positive. So let us draw a free body diagram of this frame. So in free body diagram, we have a beam and we have 2 columns, and here we have to see forces. So there is one force over here which is rightwards, and component of force is downwards as well. We have a reaction over here, and this reaction will be drawn as upwards here on the beam, and we have a downward reaction on right side. It means we have a downward force over here on the beam side. and we have a horizontal leftwards reaction here. This force that you see on the left side, it will create a force on the other column as well. So that will be rightwards, and the reaction that you see over here, this reaction will create a leftward force on left column. Now we have all the forces that we want. Let us see what kind of moment is being generated. These two forces, they are creating a clockwise moment. The forces at beam, they are creating a clockwise moment as well. And forces between these 2 points, they are generating, I can say that these are generating anti-clockwise moment. From the sign convention, clockwise moments are negative. So I can say this is negative, and I can say that this is negative as well. And anti-clockwise moments, they are positive. Now I'm in a position to draw the diagram. First we have to draw clockwise on right column, that is negative, so negative is drawn inside the frame. And then we have again clockwise in beam. Clockwise in beam is drawn inside as well because it is negative. And at left column we have positive. This is the negative side, and these are positive sides. Anti-clockwise moment is positive, so here we have anti-clockwise moment at half of the column height. In this way we are able to draw the shear force diagram, and the correct option is option D. So that is how we draw a shear force diagram. Let me move to this question. Identify correct shear force diagram, ignore self-weight, and anti-clockwise shear forces are drawn on positive side. This is the sign convention which I will be using, means anti-clockwise forces are positive, and this is how we draw it on the diagram: positive upwards and negative forces downwards. Note one thing over here: the moment generated here is anti-clockwise, and m over L is a force, and that force is generating a clockwise moment with respect to fixed support. M over L times L, it will generate moment of m. So in the system, the reaction moment over here, m plus m and negative m, they will cancel each other. When reaction moment is going to be 0, this entire force will be a reaction over here. So we will have upward reaction. And I will prove it with the help of some values that this concept is right. And this also means that we haven't got any forces in this span. When we haven't got any forces in this span, this means option A is incorrect, option B is incorrect as well, and option C is for sure incorrect because inclined lines, they indicate we have uniformly distributed load, which is not the case over here. We had a point moment at the end that cancels out with the point load that we have. Then the only option left here is option D. Now I will explain you with the help of values in the diagram to see how we can solve this question. This is the question that we have. Let me draw this question. We have a point moment over here, that is m, and I'm assuming that m is 10, and a point load is m over L. I'm assuming L is 2. So m over L, 10 over 2, will give me 5 kilonewton here. And this is reaction moment. I call it as MA. This is point A. Let me say that summation of moment at A is equal to 0. Then I will have this reaction moment, which is a clockwise moment. I will say MA. Plus I have moment generated due to this point load, which is 5 times 2. This is a clockwise moment, so that's why it is positive. And at the end, we have anti-clockwise moment. That's why it is negative, is equal to 0. These two values, they cancel out. So MA is equal to 0. We don't have any reaction moment, and reaction over here will be equal to the load applied. So now I'm able to draw a free body diagram. Here I have 5 kilonewton of reaction, and here I have 5 kilonewton applied. At the end I have moment applied, that is anti-clockwise moment of 10 kilonewton meter. These two forces, 5 and 5, these are creating a clockwise moment, and you know that our sign convention is anti-clockwise moments are positive. This means that this has to be drawn at the underside. So this goes under and goes straight, and the reaction is bringing it up. This is negative. So this is our shear force diagram, and the correct option is option D.